So I've got some icebreaker questions first. Um,
All right.
what is your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh, gosh, go to karaoke. Uh, I guess the last time I did like a Cage the Elephant song. No Rest for the Wicked. That song,
Yeah.
that's a cool one. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I don't think there's ever a go-to. It's something like what's the first thing that comes to my head, and it can be all over the place. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Completely random.
Okay.
So that's the latest. There you go.
All right. If you were an animal, what would you be and why?
Oh wait, I got to jump back to that first one first.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the coolest ones I ever did was kind of recently. Well, gosh, now about a year. Went to Scotland, random bar, like a dive bar, just in a place that I've never been. Obviously, had some karaoke, like hidden away upstairs. It was really wild, and so I did some Rage Against the Machine, like
Oh,
wearing a kilt. So that was probably the
yeah,
coolest one. But yeah,
that's awesome.
sorry. Go ahead. What was the
If you
next?
were an animal, what would you be and why?
Uh, a snail. Just take it easy.
Okay.
You know, just gotta live life. Just you gotta look around you. You don't move too fast. Enjoy what's around you. There you go.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
first one. Yeah.
Um, are there any foods that you can't get at home that you look forward to getting on tour? Or maybe you have a favorite restaurant on tour?
Mm. Well, I'm in Texas here, so I get all the Mexican food I want, which is my favorite kind of just overall deal. But there is a place I can't remember what it is. I asked Jerry, our tour manager. It's called Fuego. It's just the best Mexican. It's an experience. Uh, but there's random places that God, what do we get out there? We'll go to a Culver's and just get
Yeah,
some curds.
yeah,
Like of all the things, it's like little random things that
yeah.
excite you because it's just a place that maybe isn't where you're from or whatever. But
No, I actually have one near me.
okay, you
I
got the
never had it
Culver's.
until recently. Yeah. My husband
Yeah.
was there recently. I'd never had it.
Do you do the cheese curds? You rock those things? Those
I
fried
hadn't
cheese
tried them.
curds?
Mm-mm.
Come on now. That's where it's at.
I'll
It's
try
those
it out
little
next
things.
time.
Yeah, for sure.
So what first ignited your passion for music?
Oh, uh, it was around, with just my family. My mother, incredible singer, incredible. I grew up in church, singing and just learning how to just sing in general. I was always amazed by, everyone was singing the same thing, which I didn't know what it was. I'm young, but I was listening to my mother sing a harmony, which I didn't know what that was at the time, but I'm just hearing, multiple layers of
Mm,
vocal melodies. And I was always in love with simple melodies that could catch your attention, that
mm,
you remember long after you ever heard them. Uh, whether it was with church stuff or whatever, or just simple music. I mean, the typical story that musicians talk about finding their parents' records. Like parents had some Beatles records, and I always loved how simple just the songs were. They're just simple, and the melodies would just kind of stick with you. And so I always enjoyed that kind of thing. And there was a guitar laying around at the home, there was a piano. So it was things that just at an early age, I just started figuring out, never really dove into lessons or anything like that. And kind of
yeah.
jumped around all different instruments, but it was just there in the family. There's always music going on,
Mm,
and so I found a love for creating, for
yeah.
writing music. That was I didn't necessarily want to just learn someone else's song. Very, very early on, I enjoyed making, my own music, which was probably just terrible at the time, but I thought it was awesome then. But just led to that passion to create.
I'm sure it was still like therapeutic for you, even
Oh
then.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a curse, in a good way. Music is it's I'm one of those people that just has it always, in the head. It's
Yeah.
wake up in the middle of the night, there's some song that I'm creating through a dream, and it just never ends. There's always some
Mhm.
music, whether good or bad.
Yeah.
Um, it's just part of it,
Um,
part of life.
so you have been in the music scene, at least according to the internet, since 97, releasing a Sick Puppies.
Yeah, I mean, Sick Puppies has been around for probably then, I
Okay.
guess. Uh,
So
yeah, doing it a hot minute.
So
I
what
like
do you
that.
think of the current state of the music industry?
I mean,
I guess is it harder to be a musician these days? Is it easier? What's kind of changed?
I don't know if there's ever been a just an easier. I mean, there's so many different stories you hear about artists and how they break through or make it or whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
And I always find it fascinating because you can have the story of the group or whatever that just worked so hard, blood, sweat, and tears for so many years. That's what this band did. Worked really, really hard for a long time, even before they came over here. But and and then you hear the stories of people that just never played a show, played one, they were there in front of the right person, right time, and
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how it always is. But I mean, I think there's always somewhat of a who because it is. I mean, how do you get in front of somebody? The luck thing isn't as much. You don't hear as many stories of some exec, just in a bar somewhere finding someone. It happens, but it's kind of rare. These days it's almost how can you get a lot of the legwork done for you, which, maybe somebody drops a video and it goes viral. And so all of a sudden they have 20 million people listening to this song. So a label's like, wow, that was a lot of legwork we didn't have to put money into. Let's just go ahead and take
Mhm.
this because they're already kind of, virally famous. That's something that is certainly new now. And it's been for a while, but than it used to be, it's
The
different in
social
that
media
aspect. I
aspect.
think that's why everybody's looking for that, that viral moment to,
Hmm.
just to launch their career. So,
Yeah, definitely. So how would you say your musical style has evolved since you started back then?
well, it's certainly evolved a lot to the record that we're putting out in March next year. This album is pretty wild. I think the band's had a pretty more or less consistent sound over the years, you know, but was able to kind of get away with not just doing some heavy stuff, but also have some middle of the road, some softer music as well. Because I think everybody kind of enjoyed doing multiple styles in a way.
Yeah.
But certainly with this album that we're doing, we literally went almost as far left as you could go with the style. I don't know. It's like a lot of time. You've been a band for a long time. You've all been doing it a long time. It's like what excites you. You want to give fans something they're used to, but it's also kind of exciting to explore something new. And I mean, really new. Like when we
Yeah.
were making this album that took a long ass time to do, uh, we did stuff that was as wild as you could do. Stuff that, we're like, okay, we're glad we didn't put that on the record. That doesn't sound anything like the band,
Yeah.
but we weren't afraid to try new stuff. That's why this album is literally all over the place. And I actually say that in a very good way. I think it's the most refreshing thing we've done. So it's just keeping up with what you love to do at the end of the day, and you just hope the fans will still dig it.
So
So
should be something in it for everyone, right?
I think so. No, I
Yeah.
mean, I really believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. I love There Goes the Neighborhood. That's
Oh, cool.
I was listening to it and I was like, yep, saving that. That's great.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you very much. That was a fun one. That was, yeah, we got really heavy. Like I was messing with screaming type stuff that the band had never really explored to that extent. I mean, there's the next song we're about to drop will be the heaviest thing the band's ever done ever. It's
That's
it's
exciting.
kind of insane. And with the opposite end, we also have some, other stuff as well. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Glad you dig it.
So what can you tell us about the creative process behind creating the album? If there's
Yeah.
anything you
So
can share that's not like too much too soon.
yeah, no. I mean, it's this album was a long time coming. It like I said, whenever we began this, we wanted to make sure we were doing something that was fresh to our ears, that we really enjoyed. We didn't want to just go do that same kind of thing, and it took a while to find that. That was the key. We worked with some different people here and there, and we really pushed ourselves to try to explore something maybe that we were even uncomfortable with, just to see what else there was that this band could create,
Yeah.
in this world. And and it was fun. So at some point along the way, we just kind of found it. It just every band gets in that groove at some point, and it just we just roll with it. And I don't know. It took a long time at the beginning, but then the point where we found that groove, only a few months of creating, and so it was cool. I mean, every band's got their different ways of doing it. A lot of songs start with Emma making some nasty bass line, which she does, and everyone just kind of looks around like, "Oh, sick! All right, where can we take this?" And or maybe it starts with a melody or a concept. Because we wrote this a long time ago, and we were looking at the state of the world. Really, that's what, especially "There Goes the Neighborhood" is about. What's so funny is that song was written a long time ago, but is still kind of as relevant today as it was then, maybe more so. I don't know, because the world's getting a little wacky um, these days, and it's everybody's just so and there's a lot of that over the song, because we're not that type of a band to be overly political or over this and that, but it's kind of just looking at the state of the world, and why is it this way? And
Yeah.
that's what that song, we really wanted to write something about, really looking at how society is right now, and there's like a lack of just goodness,
Mhm.
wholesomeness and genuineness between people, especially. And that's what it's like, when that's gone, there goes the neighborhood. And so it
Yeah.
was fun to explore kind of different things like that. The band's always had the fight songs, like "You're Not Gonna Bring Me
Mhm.
Down" kind of songs, which is great because that's a lot of what the fans enjoy. It's a lot of stuff of what we've all been through in life. But it was fun to kind of explore, different topics as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did see you just got added to Sonic Temple.
Oh yeah.
Exciting.
Hell
Who are you
yes.
excited to see and, play alongside?
We're opening up on the main stage before like Incubus and Linkin Park. Like, you kidding me? Those were my jams growing up. I mean, even now, like
Yeah.
Incubus. It's funny. You think about how well, some, I mean, young kids now, everything's all streaming and whatnot. But I like to think back when we were all buying actual tangible records and going to stores and
Mhm.
waiting for that moment that it dropped, because you had to be the first in line to get the records. And just coincidentally, those two bands, Incubus and Linkin Park, I feel like everybody's got those type bands that you can remember. I bought every album they've ever put out, like a
Yeah.
physical copy of it. I think that's when you know that that's something, for bands that you like. It's not certainly these days something you stream it, but something you're going out and purchasing that album. I think that means something. So I'm really stoked about them.
Yeah.
I Prevail's dope too. There's a
Oh,
lot. I mean, Metallica's playing. Like, it's a lot of sick bands, but I'm
amazing.
excited about those
Yeah.
two.
Um, Let me see. What do you think sets your music apart from other bands?
Um, I think this band's been able to kind of cross some boundaries stylistically, kind of like what I was talking about earlier.
Mhm.
There's some bands only are able to be in the route of just a heavy band, and that's it, and that's great.
Yeah.
It Not every band is able to kind of cross over to have some other hits that are, softer as well. And I think that's just something that doesn't make you completely unique. But I mean, you know, Emma was originally from Australia, all these, like just her alone being in the band, and being where she is and playing the bass like she does is just, it's wild. Being a three piece, not every band is able to do it, with less than four or five people,
Yeah.
you know. That's always cool. Again, not completely unique, but there's
But all of it
something,
combined.
yeah, there's something kind of raw about that when it's just three people, just one guitar, one bass, drums, singing and everything. That's kind
Mhm.
of, it's really cool, I think. I
Yeah.
think that's something that this band's always tried to bring to the stage, is just a rawness and a realness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not overly, what's the word I'm thinking of? There's not too much of a massive production. I mean, that'd be, it's great when you have it or whatever, but you're just genuinely connecting with the
Mhm.
fans. I think that's what this band really, really likes to do, is connect. I mean, we're the type of band, we'll stay there, to the very end, meeting every single person because it's real to us and it matters, everybody that comes
Right.
out. So, those kind of things.
Do you have any plans to tour after the album?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's already being talked about. It's
Oh,
it's
great.
it's they're the phone calls are being made, the workout, there's already tours in the works. I wish I could tell you about, but
Great.
that are just gonna be awesome.
When you
And
do, do not forget North Carolina.
come on. Yeah, of course. Of course. Be up there.
I would love to
Yeah, it's
catch.
one of those things. It's been so long, for a lot of various reasons that you kind of want to just hit everywhere in the world, maybe just real quick. That'd be a long tour,
Just
but yeah,
once.
we'll be around. Yeah, we'll be around for
Good.
sure.
So you've shared the stage with some pretty incredible bands. Um, what are some words of wisdom that you've maybe picked up from them along the way?
From the bands that we played with,
Yeah,
I
or
think
maybe just lessons in general.
yeah, I think a lot of it comes from maybe nothing that you're told by bands, but when we watch bands that we play with, we're genuinely watching them. We
Mhm.
like you may be a fan, they may be your friends and this and that, but there's something kind of awesome about just getting to watch them as though you're just a fan. Like we're not even on tour with you, and so it's real fun to see them play, and you're almost like you're kind of taking notes on some stuff. Like you're learning
Yeah.
you're learning how they because everyone can always absorb and learn and grow. As musicians, we all have our own ways of doing things for so long, but it's fun to maybe see something or somebody kind of teaches you a certain way to sing, maybe a little different, but you should try this, and you get higher notes and this kind of stuff I've learned. And it's always fun to just to grow as musicians. And that comes from watching each other. You have to, you can't just get in your head that you're the best thing out there. You gotta, it's all about looking at each other, building each other up. So I think that's a huge thing is you kind of take something from everybody you play with.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite song to perform?
Hmm. I would say, well, God, I can't. This new album's going to be. I'm going to love doing all that kind of stuff. You're Going Down's always dope to play because people go
Sure it
wild,
is. Yeah.
at the end. And of course, you do the thing where you make them wait till the end, to get them worked up. We had this one called Earth to You that was off the last album. That was a lot of fun because we were able to get everyone just kind of synchronized jumping. I think the more when everyone is just in sync with each other and moving and jumping and just there's something that some energy about that, which is really really cool. So, yeah.
Okay. Can you share any interesting or surprising facts about sick puppies?
Uh, Interesting facts, surprising facts. Well, we're still around. We're
Yeah.
still we're coming out with an album. It took a long time. Um, we were going to drop this album when COVID hit, almost to the day. So that's kind of a fun fact that sucks, but we wanted to get it done before because it was basically done then. And then this little, you know, COVID thing happened that we all had to pump the brakes on, be like, whoa, we got to see what's going on
Yeah.
here. But yeah, that's the thing. We're a band that has evolved a lot over the years, but we're still kicking it. And I think this will be the most interesting album in a very exciting way that this band has ever done.
Mhm.
Um, Wave the Bolts, March 28th, I believe is the day it comes out. We're going to be two songs are out right now. There Goes the Neighborhood, Going Places. Go check them out. Go stream the shit out of them. And those are a lot of fun. Um, I think people like you said, there'll be something for everybody on this album, more so than anything we've ever done before, by far. I think it's going to freak people out in a good, in a crazy way, and it's really fun to see those kind of reactions. So it's definitely worth listening to.
Yeah. And speaking of listening to, what have you been listening to lately?
So I'm always all over the place. We always talk about now, Nothing More is a band that we love a lot. Um, I kind of grew up playing with those guys in a previous local band I was with back in the day. And they just, it's cool to watch them blow up. They're insane. Uh, Probably one of the best live shows you'll ever see. Musically, it's just wild. They're great. Um, Don Bracco, I'm all over the place with the bands that I like. Oh, one second. But Periphery, I've always loved. Super heavy music. I'm always a fan of really, really heavy bands that do screaming and singing.
Yeah.
I need that melody in there, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, I listen to bands that are from like here where I'm from. Like I like local music too. Like there's a band called To Whom It May. Shout out Rob, what's up? Uh, who's awesome. You should check them out. Really, really cool sound. Three-piece band as well, which is always impressive to me. Bring Me the Horizon, I love. Um, yeah, just all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my last question, is there anything that we didn't cover that you want to share with your fans?
I think it's I mean we're covering the fun questions. I think it's, definitely to the fans, anyone checking this out who has known the band before or
Yeah.
not. Appreciate it, obviously, more than you know that we're finally touring. This next year is when it all will be kicking off. This album, we're kind of putting out songs about every 6 to 8 weeks to lead up to the release of it on March 28th next year. It's called Wave the Bull. There's a lot of great songs on it. I think, I don't know, their band likes to do that. This is the best thing the band's ever done, but I really feel real strongly about this one. And um, there's a lot of cool stuff in store. So just
Okay.
stick with it. Yeah,
All right. 2025, a year to keep an eye on sick puppies.
there it is.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
Appreciate your time.
All right. Bye.
See ya.